keep me company and honor my mom. And I'm going to try and read something that I wrote here. So, a little bit of information about her for some of you that, don't know her. Some of you guys know her from my childhood, others through Facebook, what I've, put up there. So, Gloria trained at the High School of Fashion Industries, and although she never became a professional illustrator, she loved to draw and paint throughout her life. In grade school, I always had the best book report covers because she would draw them for me. So I was like, she was a bookkeeper by profession, working for Greek shipping magnates part-time, all of my childhood and through my teens. She loved to dance, and in fact she met my father Latin dancing at Roseland Ballroom in the late 1940s. When she first moved back to New York after my stepfather Bob was killed, she lived in an assisted living facility that had really great entertainment. She was still walking then. One day during a visit, one of the aides came up to me and said that during one of their musical programs, my mom got up and danced just like a Latina, according to the caregiver, surprising everybody. Wish I could have seen that. Unfortunately, as far as I know, there was no repeat performance of that. She pretty much raised me as a single mom, and she always made sure that I had what I needed to eat, to wear, and for school. I was a latchkey kid who spent my time after school at the library waiting for Gloria to come back from her work as a bookkeeper. On Fridays, I'd wait for her at the supermarket where we do the shopping for the week, and this was one of my favorite things that we do together. And I still love shopping to this day, as I will tell you. Every few months, she would treat us to a special night out. We'd go to a movie and a show with the Rockettes at Radio City. Afterwards, dinner out with a Manhattan for her and a Lime Ricky or a Shirley Temple for me. So that's for all you old folks. You know how old I am now. She was a neat freak, always cleaning, wiping, and throwing stuff out. She told me her parents' home was always messy. I'm afraid that despite her best efforts, I favor my grandparents' habits. We didn't always see eye to eye, especially during my teenage years. And Kimmy, I know you know this. So one time I remember we were arguing about something, cannot remember at all what it was. And somehow we were trying to come to blows, we were trying to fight with each other. Somehow we ended up on the floor in the heat. And we looked at each other and we just burst out laughing. It was ridiculous, it was just absurd. So she always had the ability to laugh at herself. We got each other. Looking at some of the old photos I found, I just see that look in her eyes. I got her and she got me, and that never changed. Even in her last years, when her speech was so difficult for her, she told me in a clear, strong voice, "I know how much you love me." I think that pretty clearly established that she recognized me. And you ladies from my group know that this is a big bugaboo for me, but this is a great fear of people whose loved ones suffer from dementia and dementia-related illnesses. It's a cringe-worthy question to be asked by somebody, does she recognize you? When somebody's trying to know something about your loved one's condition. So, yes. Yes, she did. I know many friends have commented on what a good daughter I've been, or on the sacrifices that I've made. But it's only because Gloria inspired me to do what I did for the past 6 years as a caregiver. She made me the person I am today by her own example. It's been a privilege and my most valuable lesson in life to care for her, to share her journey's end. Although the road she traveled was very difficult, it taught me so many things. Patience, compassion, unwavering love. I'm humbled by her strength, bravery, and the grace with which she bore the terrible burden of her illness. I will miss her and always keep her in my heart. That's it, folks.
That was beautiful.
I don't know who's going to go next. Do you all time?
Yeah, I'll say a few words.
I believe there's tissues in the audience. Sorry, guys.
I'll tell you about some of my experiences with Robin's mom's Gloria. I've known her for about the last dozen years. Since Robin and I, we would go down to Delray Beach. That was her residence down there with her husband Bob, and we would spend a couple of days there. I guess every 3 months or so, going down there, and it would be great. Her mom, was a really devoted wife and mother. She really loved her husband a lot and would always say great things about him. She was very devoted. Even when sometimes there would be some disagreements between Robin and her mom, but her mom would always come to her husband's. Gloria would always come to her husband's defense. She was very devoted, and of course, I'm sure that if there was a likewise discussion with Bob, she would do the same thing. Oh, I didn't witness that firsthand, but I believe it. There's certain things she liked. She was very expressive, I would say. She knew what she wanted. If she didn't like something, she would, she wasn't afraid to tell you.
Apples that doesn't fall far.
I mean, Robin's a great cook. She's trained, but I remember there was one instance where she made this green goddess dressing, and after her mom had a bite of it, she said, "This is murder."
She didn't have all the perfect words, but she knew what she wanted to say.
Point across.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
No, I mean, she always liked to have a glass of White Zinfandel with her dinner, and apparently she liked husbands named Bob because she had 2 of them. And when she came up back here, at one point she started to refer to me as Bob. So that was quite touching to me, And I thought that was quite interesting. More recently, I found out that she told you that you shouldn't marry me because I'm too young. But I don't. I
guess I never should have told you that.
But,
anyway, as you know, I never listened to everything my mom told me. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, those are just a few of the kind of memories I have. I'm sure I could go on and on, but I'll leave it at that. And I miss her greatly, and things are going to be different now, and we move forward, and look forward to the future, and always think of her and thoughts and dreams. And thank you.
Thank you. All right, George. All you.
Well, now, you wonder why I'm here. Besides
You live
that,
Good reason.
if you allow me, at 93, I like to speak sitting down if I can.
I think you can.
I would like to, first of all, make 2 comments that have really not much to do with the occasion, but with the place. Since so many of you are here, you might want to know where to go if you need a restroom. So I am telling you that if you go all the way to the back and then to the left through the kitchen, at the kitchen door, you will see a small cabinet. It's all yours, one at a time. Now that we have concluded that, since you may wish to talk to me at one time or another during this occasion, you need to know that age weakens sound in my ear. Therefore, this ear hears nothing. That ear hears you if you speak nice and clearly. Otherwise, don't expect me to do more than smile and nod. I have no idea what you're saying to me. All right. Now, however, I decided to honor the occasion and after all, make a few notes for myself. You see, I go way back. And going way back is something that a tree can do because it's got rings. And the inner ring is something that the outer rings know nothing about. So here I am to remind you of some of the more serious things of life. I know it's kind of nice to laugh and smile and think of the good stuff. But let us think for a minute. What is a life well lived? A life well lived is what you leave behind. It's not what you've done, it's what you leave behind. And so there are quite a few things, memories, that have been left behind of the goodness and of what she really did do. Now, if we go to the very early days and look at Gloria, almost before Robin, and then we see a kid of the 60s, a very pretty kid, it so happens, but that, I think, was not the important thing. The important thing was the imagination, the inventiveness, the curiosity, and what she brought to life. So, in this early history, for instance, I got divorced. And when I got divorced, when you go back into that room, you will see a lady on the wall, a blonde one, whose name is Karen. And when I got divorced, for a few weeks, short months, until Karen finally got to America from Germany, where she really came from, couldn't speak any English, the life I lived was very difficult, very lonesome. Besides, there was no money. We had no place to be. And who came to the rescue? Gloria. It seems Gloria at the time had connections in Skyview, if you know what that is. Highest point in Riverdale, there's a building called Skyview. And in that building, in the basement, was a mattress. Now, who would have known a thing like that? Only Gloria would know that, because she was friendly with everyone. And the mattress became the first mattress on which Karen and I slept. There were other such little things that at that time she did. And as I try to see her now in the context of the times, I see a kid of the 60s. Gloria is the kid of the 60s. She is those who came of age in the 60s, participated in all of what the 60s brought. I remember, for instance, no car. But George had a car. So I remember George, Gloria, and Robin by then driving to a beach. Why? Because that was the only way to get to the beach, really. And so there are so many of these old memories that I won't share them all with you, but what I want you sort of to see is that whatever a person has done lives after them. we have short lives, all of us, even I. I'm only 93 and I'm going for 100, but I may not be able to do it. So what I do every day, what I say to you today, is of tremendous importance to me. I don't know if it's of importance to you, but it's of importance to me. So, what I would like to say, sort of in a concluding way, is let us not forget the daughter. Now, I know there were many relatives, but it so happens I only knew one real well, and that one was called Robin. And whether she had a messy room or not didn't make much difference.
When I lived
Because
at
when
home,
I
it was
used to
me.
come and visit in Brooklyn and see the mess, I would sit in the middle of the mess and would listen to Mick Jagger or something like that, because Robin too was a kid of her time, and Mick Jagger was a man of her time. Now then, as we go along, we see really, and that's very important, a good daughter. It hasn't been said, so I will say it. There's a good daughter who all these many years hung on to her mother. Went to Florida, like you heard said, went to wherever mom was, participated, helped, found plans, worried about health, worried about hospitals, worried about 1,000,001 things. And here is this long thread of gold, the good daughter. And that is something I thought should be said today. To finish it up, I was not as close to Gloria in those last years as I would have liked to have been. She was in different places. I'm working still. I was not always able to come and go and see her. But one thing I know, her place in my memory is an everlasting place. And so I come back to what I started with. What is a